Hi friends, this week we are talking about ancestral trauma. So a very light topic for you. If you're new to this space, my name is Anissa, I'm a holistic therapist and we are discussing all things holistic healthcare and healing. So we are going to start with the belief or with the concept that all trauma is ancestral. Hear me out a second. If you are someone that can identify with the fact that you are perpetuating patterns, perpetuating cycles that no longer serve you, then you understand the need and the want to break out of them. But my belief is those patterns were not just bubbled up inside of you at birth, they're ancestral. Now think about it. How many of these patterns that you have can you see in your parents or you can see in your ancestral lineage? How many of them have come from family dynamics? So my belief is we inherit them. Some people get a trust fund, some people get trauma. So if you are in these patterns of trauma, ancestral trauma, whichever way you want to look at it, you know how heavy they can be. You know how much they affect every avenue of your life, whether it's work, whether it's your relationship, whether it's your home. They're everywhere. And they also ripple out to the people around you, affecting everything. And so part of life's work is to break out of them. I am a trauma specialist and I have created a trauma repair course which goes straight in to the blockages that you have. Normally, most of them are in the bottom 3 chakras, and using a bunch of tools removes the trauma and helps you rewrite that narrative so that you can finally move out of the cycles and also not spend your whole life talking in therapy, which, no shame, I love me some therapy, don't get me wrong, but I feel like life shouldn't be about releasing one thing. We also need to move on. I'm going to tell you about the 7 karmic shadows whereby I believe all trauma comes from. As we go through these karmic shadows, take note which one affects you most, which one is asking for you to put your attention in, because chances are it's now up to you to liberate and to break that pattern, not just for you, but also for the future generations that are to come. The first karmic shadow is abuse. And abuse comes from the chronic ancestral root is distorted power. And what it looks like is negative self-talk, harshness to yourself, self-criticism, playing small and telling yourself that you're small. So you can see that perhaps in different family dynamics, and then we inherit that. And the cure to this, what you're being asked to do if you feel like this is something that affects you, is learn the art of setting boundaries. The second karmic shadow is addiction. Now, addiction is the chronic root of that is being misplaced. And all it is a real yearning, a yearning for connection that one believes will never be met, and they're not worthy of that being met. And so it's like numbing the pain of never being enough, numbing the pain of past traumas that we cannot allow ourselves to turn to. So that is what addiction is. And it's asking for us to be able to sit with discomfort, to be able to take that moment every day to really welcome it so that you can embrace it and liberate yourself and your lineage from it. The third karmic shadow is violence. And that can be both emotional or physical. And it comes from a chronic root of oppression or war in your lineage, and can manifest in these emotionally or physically violent ways. And what it's asking you to do, what the life mission here is to gain compassion and empathy and courage in yourself to ask for help. That's what the universe is asking you to do. The fourth karmic shadow is poverty. Now, the ancestral root of this is colonization. So if you come from a lineage that has been through colonization, then chances are you have a scarcity mindset. Now, this scarcity mindset might stop you bringing in lots of money. It also is very much linked to your self-worth. So what it is asking you to do here is to rewrite this lack mindset and do the work to raise your self-worth, to know and to believe in abundance. The fifth karmic shadow is illness, and this is the chronic root of disconnection from the body. But illness doesn't just have to be physical. In fact, all illness is linked to the emotional body as well. So it can just be being plagued by unresolved traumas. And it is a sign of societal dissonance. It's a sign of like taking on the toxicity of the environment. So like what we've done to the planet. And what you're being asked to do is really listen and tap in to the deeper whisperings of the body. So this is why the majority of the work I do is based in psychosomatic therapy, the connection between the mind and the body, because I don't believe we can ever really remove trauma if we're not tapping into the body. That's why people sit in therapy for years and years talking about it. That's only really allowing your mind to be free of it, or your mind to understand. But we have to listen to our body and ask what it needs as well to break these cycles. If we look at the word disease, right? Dis-ease. When we put our bodies through things that they don't want to do, we're forcing it, we're going to create issues in the body. When we're people pleasing all the time and we're going against our authentic views and our authentic energy, this is how things form in the body that don't belong there. This is how stagnation happens in the body. So it's really important. If you're walking into a space and your body's like, I don't want to be here, don't take something so that you can be there. Instead, just listen to it. Let it guide you. It will guide you to your people and to your places and where you can feel comfortable. The penultimate karmic shadow is abandonment, and this one is huge. So many people have this wound. It plays out in this fear of being left behind, of being left alone. And the ancestral root of this is exile or rejection. And that's why like lots of women have abandonment wound because of the female oppression that plagues the society, as well as many marginalized groups of people who have constantly been exiled and rejected from spaces. Often they will have this wound, and what it manifests in is clinginess in relationships and fear of being alone and not being able to enjoy your own company. So it's underpins a lot of things in this society, and what it is asking you to do is to really root in and anchor in this inner resource of belonging, to make yourself home first. Otherwise, all we do is like go from person to person, like begging for home in other people's hearts. But if we don't create home for ourselves first, it is going to be so difficult to create stability. It's also linked to the root chakra. So the final karmic shadow is betrayal, and this comes from the ancestral roots of unfulfilled promises or unresolved conflicts. And what it does is it makes us contract, and it is a huge igniter of secrets in the family, which are toxic for families. If we're constantly lying to each other or not telling this family this or not telling that family that, it causes so much discord in the family. And it's really asking for you to work on the Vishuddha chakra, to work on the throat chakra, and earn and own your authentic voice, and to share authentically your truth. knowing that it will resonate, or knowing that maybe it won't, but it needs to be said. And that's how you break that karmic cycle. So those are the 7 karmic shadows. If you got to this point, well done you. If you're sitting there thinking, actually all of these relate to me, chances are you've been put here to break one of them. So there'll be one that really resonates you, probably the one that makes you feel the most uncomfortable. That is the one that is asking for work, we're asking for energy and attention. Like I said earlier, if you are going through this trying to break out of one cycle to the other, I salute you. It is brave work what you do. I am a trauma specialist, and I have created a course to help you remove these blockages, remove these old narratives so that you can liberate yourself from these cycles. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I have a social media which you can get in contact with me if you want to work on anything trauma repair or holistic healing related. And I also have a newsletter filled with lots of cool, fun, free reflections. So be sure to check that out as well in my Instagram account here. Okay, I hope you have a lovely day. Bye.